Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We are here for the Liverpool show, as always, on a Thursday night, even with Europa League on.
Perez.
I don't see Liverpool ever being in the Europa League under Jurgen Klopp for quite some time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and United, on the other hand, will be there in January, so you'll get to see them every Thursday night when they inevitably get, well, they might even not get it this time if young boys are doing business on them. Always good to start with a bit of United banter. Good goal there from Perez. 1-0. 1-0. Rhys says Paul is a Man United fan, not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, let me explain that. So first off, Rhys, get off, mate. He's my mate from school, and he's like a proper wind-up merchant. like a proper wind-up merchant. I mean, he's boss. He's one of my best mates, but he's just a bloody wind-up merchant. Get off, Rhys.
I've been accused of being a United fan more times than you care to imagine. What was it last time? I got accused. I think it was being a Chelsea fan now. I'm apparently a supporter of all different types of clubs. Never been accused of a Liverpool fan. But we have got quite a bit to talk about. But as you can see, we are joined by Gini as always, and Paul is making his debut on the podcast as well. How are we both doing?
Yeah,
good.
Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. Velvishwan should hopefully be here at some point soon. Rhys says, sorry, Daddy Paul, I'll go. Enjoy your pod. But we've got a lot to talk about today.
Don't call me that.
We've got an awful lot to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Harvey Elliott situation and get everyone's thoughts on that. Just also get the thoughts of Gini and Paul about if it's anywhere near comparable to drop kicking a baby in a supermarket. My suspicions is no. And we're also going to talk about Origi and has he damaged Jurgen Klopp's legacy? Somehow, I think when you win a Premier League title for the first time in 30 years in the Champions League, damaging your legacy by playing one player is going to be quite difficult. But we'll talk about that, of course. Valve says he's coming on soon. Love to see it. But we'll start with the injury to Harvey Elliott.
Do we have to?
We do. We might as well just get it out of the way and all of that. Obviously, first thoughts is we wish him a speedy and full recovery. Heartbreaking for him, essentially, because he had started the season as, I would say, arguably your best player. It was sort of that new signing feel. It was like, Jesus, look at what he's bringing to this midfield. Progressive, carrying the ball, looked confident. And not a lot of young players have that confidence, do they? And that aura.
Exactly, yeah. He has brought something fresh to the side, I think, at his age as well. He played very mature for his age. I was gutted about. I was gutted that he got injured, but it could have been well worse. People were talking about a broken leg, out for a year, half a year, but it turns out he's just, I think it's a broken ankle, and about 6 to 8 weeks. They're speculating 6 to 8 weeks now, which is an absolutely huge.
No way.
I'm gutted for him because he started the season so well. And he's looking like someone for the future. Definitely someone in maybe a season, 2 seasons we could see starting as could be a regular at Liverpool.
I think probably 2 or 3 years for him to be starter for England. I mean, there's only really one young player. I don't class Saka, but there's one young player who is respected by I think most of the league, who has come on and had this impact, and that is Mason Greenwood. And we all know how highly he's thought of. The fact that Harvey Mount, he's a little bit older. I wouldn't, because Mount didn't really break it in to the Chelsea side. He sort of went on a fair few loans. I know Harvey did as well, but the reason I would say Harvey and Greenwood are similar is because of their age when they broke in. I class them both as very similar. And I'm just really excited for England. Can you imagine Bellingham, Harvey Elliott, Greenwood, Foden? I'm excited.
Midfield, proper midfield.
I know. I'm excited for that. Just need to get rid of Southgate. Jurgen Klopp's looking at leaving there soon, so maybe Jurgen to the England job. We can convince him.
24. He's he's spoken about it. Well, not spoken about it, but he's hinted it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe taking a break. I think. Hopefully not. I'd have him forever. I'd transfer his subconsciousness to a machine so he can manage us forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just gutted we can't do that. Like, just gutted we haven't got the technology for it. But I mean, that's a whole debate in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you've still got 3 years with him, 3 more seasons. Then we'll take him at England, and then finally Trent can actually play good football for England, doing the right thing. Because under Southgate, I fear that Trent's now going to be used as a central midfielder, which is just... we won't talk about that because that would just make me upset. But Gini, Harvey Elliott, obviously, he's out for, I think, probably back in the new year. I think he'll play a fair few games in the under-21s to build up that fitness back up. But how much of a blow is this for Liverpool, considering how well he started?
It's absolute bollocks, mate. It's typical. I'm absolutely heartbroken for him. He's such a good kid as well. To be fair, I think the reception he's got alone from the footballers, ex-footballers, celebrities, on everyone wishing him well on his speedy recovery shows how much of an impact he's had. It's not often that you can come in and play 3 games and you have literally everyone tweet about it. Like even Sterling was on it. Rival players. I know rivalry's aside when it comes to that, but yeah, it's brilliant. The attention he's got when he's playing shows how good he is, and yeah, it's just typical to happen in a Liverpool shirt, isn't it?
I hear that. I suppose the other thing is how he's dealt with the whole situation. Obviously, he's spoken about Pascal. Now, obviously, Pascal is going to serve a 3-match suspension. As a former referee, it's not even a foul, let alone a red card, but that's just my personal opinion. But with what Harvey said, that it's not his fault, that he's gutted for Pascal, just shows sort of the humanity of Harvey as well. Lewis says, yes, Paul. Velv says, I'm in Asda with someone's baby ready for a drop kick. Just give the signal. Jesus Christ, Velv is wrong. No, quick, please. Well, Velv, I'm not helping you. Yeah, Harvey has been amazing. Was he the replacement for Gini? Literally, because you didn't buy a midfielder, so a lot of people are just assuming that Harvey Elliott was the replacement.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could say that he's a direct replacement for Gini Wijnaldum. I don't know whether you could say that he's I don't know whether you could say he's the same type of player as Wijnaldum. But he's definitely something else, if you like. He's definitely something to add to the team. I don't think we've technically replaced Wijnaldum. I mean, through the summer and how the summer transfer window panned out, I think we must have a plan. I think the way the midfield's shaping out for be like. Then again, it's still rotating in a way, but you've obviously got the likes of Fabinho. You've got Case in there. You've got sometimes Milner in there. Thiago. I think it's only September, isn't it? Clock's ticking, but I don't think it's a matter of replacing Gini. I think it's evolving without Gini.
Yeah, he certainly added it. I mean, the midfielders you've got Thiago, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Jordan Henderson, Fabinho.
Jones even, yeah.
You got so many players that can do a job in that midfield. Maybe Jurgen wants, because I suppose the case has always been who's progressed in that midfield. Who you've had Gini Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson, who are great, but I do feel you've lacked that sort of spark and that number 10, but to sit deep, because Jurgen doesn't play with that number 10. It's similar to Klopp plays very similar to how my manager plays, because believe it or not, my manager is also Scouse and a Liverpool fan, so I'm guessing he's just, Ryan Lowe, mate. Ryan Lowe. Yeah, Ryan Scouse. He's
Ryan Lowe used to live near me, I think.
Yeah, he's liked by Jurgen as well, so it doesn't surprise me we're playing similar. We play a 3 at the back, though, but you can certainly see the similarities with how Ryan and Jurgen actually face up. So the Liverpool style, I do sort of know it quite well, because it's sort of what I'm used to seeing at Argyle. But for me, you've lacked that someone who's going to drive with the ball, which I think Harvey
think,
Curtis can do.
I think even, sorry to cut you short, I think even like from what we've seen, like at the start, what we've seen, like especially last night and the past few times that he's played, I think Keita is someone who can bring the ball. I think it's a hard one with Keita because he's just never been, like, obviously injuries, and he hasn't been able to get off the mark at Liverpool, but you can see the potential. You can see the potential there when he plays. I mean, the way he does drive with the ball, he is definitely someone who drives with the ball. It's just not like, it's just not. He just isn't. He hasn't like got off, has he? He hasn't got off to that start.
Yeah, it's those injuries have really hampered him. If you can keep him injury free, you're onto a mad one.
Yeah. It's just a shame, to be honest. It's just he is such, on his day, he's such a good player, and he's like, I think every Liverpool fan will agree with me. It's just obviously he's not able to show it week in, week out.
Yeah.
What about ideal ways? He'd definitely be one there. Sorry.
100%. That's right. 100%. Gini, what about you? Naby Keita, he's not got an injury so far. We're into match day 5 now. So
don't jinx us, please. Honestly,
I've touched wood. It's okay. I've touched my desk. So far, so good. Now, obviously, we know that Jurgen sent him for basically a fat ass rehab last year. He was like, nah, screw it. I'm just gonna take a hit last season. Just go away, sort your leg out, mate. Just sort it out. But Gini, Naby, is this his year? Is his season?
We'd all like to think so, but the injuries are the only thing that will possibly pop up for Naby to get in his way of having a great season, because he's a great player. When he can, on the very rare occasion he does, when he strings 3-4 games together, so far he's been available for. He's a very, very good player. He's what we're missing. He's what we've seen glimpses of Harvey do. So injuries hamper him, and that's a fear. It's always when Naby's going to get injured, not if, because his injury record's absolutely atrocious. And to be honest, I think we're on the end of our tether with his injury record. He can't for his own career at Liverpool, he can't afford any more injuries this season. So with no injuries, I think he can definitely have a breakout season. But there's a massive if there, isn't there?
It's always the case with Naby. Big up to Wolf. Yes, the McDonald's show. Obviously, a comment on your third kit, which is horrendous. I'll have a Big Mac and some chicken nuggets, please. A new panelist. Yes, this is Paul. This is Paul. Yeah, well, what do you actually think of a third kit? Because Gini, for some reason, absolutely loves it. Greatest kit ever.
I mean, I saw concept kits where there was red stripes going down instead of the like checkered thing. I think it's good. Definitely looks a little bit like Ronald McDonald's t-shirt. Like, definitely looks a bit Ronald McDonald. But I mean, we have had kits like that in the past. I mean, if you just look back, even obviously to 14, 15, but if you go back, it's retro in a way. Like the 70s, 80s. I think it's nice. Obviously, when you've got a kit of that colour, it's you obviously get it always gets compared to some kind of restaurant chain or something like that. But I think they're all fairly nice kits. I think I love the away kit. I think the away kit's really, really nice. I mean, we've got the colours spot on. We haven't really had that. I mean, we have, but for a while we haven't had that mix. We haven't had those colours in the kit. I think he's really, really nice. Like, it's just a shame that it's like 70 odd quid for the shirt nowadays, or if we getting all three. It's just
There's apparently there's a website. RJ told me apparently you can get them. You just have to wait a while. They're like, I think 15 quid or something. I'll share it later. I'll send the link later. I think I've still got it somewhere. Max says, big up now, and the rest of you, Wolf, if you call us the McDonald's show, be prepared for tomorrow night. Yeah, Wolf is a United fan, and Wolf says, dance with me, Max, holds City clown. Vel's here, though. Vel, we're just...
If he's a Wolves fan, though, he like, don't all their players look like they work in B&Q?
What, United?
No, Wolves. Just putting that out there, like...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those, really. But
Chelsea look like IKEA, bro. Chelsea's always looks like IKEA, bro.
Ouch. But Velv, we were just talking about Harvey Elliott before we get on to the Milan match. How gut-wrenching is it for Harvey Elliott to be out?
It's got it, really. He's actually surprised, not me, just a lot of Liverpool fans as well. When first he started against Burnley, it's like, oh, he's going to be starting like in these types of games where he can just like get used to the team more and then play from there against like other teams. But when he started against Chelsea, like Klopp really does trust him, and then you saw him starting against Leeds. It's like, yep, he's a guaranteed starter now.
Yeah,
and there's a shame because I saw some magic between him, Salah, and Trent on that right hand side. That right-hand side was destroying fullbacks, destroying that their side, and it's such a shame to see him being injured.
I reckon he was definitely on the way to becoming a guaranteed starter at some point. Like maybe not so early on, but like if he hadn't got injured, he would have obviously maybe started here and there, maybe come off the bench.
That right hand side though. That was saucy. That right-hand side, Trent, Harvey Elliott, Salah. I mean, Jesus Christ. If I'm a left-back, I'm looking at that going, oh, fuck. Help. Like, if a manager's play there, like, right, I need a left-back, a left-winger, and I need everyone drift over to left, guys, because this is going to get brutal. And then you do that, and you let Robbo have all the space on the left-hand side. It's like, uh-oh.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah, Mane, so we have a problem there.
Like, apart from Salah, how much did we pay for? How much did we pay for that? Right, I think 35 million for Salah. Absolutely nothing for Alexander-Arnold and what?
So it's like 36 million
for Harvey Elliott.
Yeah,
36 million for that fee.
And that's
the like. That just goes to show Edwards for you, Michael Edwards, our sport director, just the deals that he's been able to, and obviously Alex Ingle for the academy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, that's another thing. But I think we're very good at like obviously bringing like young players in and polishing rough diamonds.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think more clubs are looking at that now. You obviously you've brought in 3 or 4. You've barely spent any money on Joe Gomez as well. I think a lot of clubs are looking at that. I think you can see Chelsea somewhat with Mount and Rhys James and all that. United with the likes of Greenwood and McTominay. Not comparing them. I'm just saying that they're bringing through young players. Although McTominay is better than Fred. Not difficult. But I think a lot of clubs are looking at that policy. But I want to talk Milan because yesterday was the rematch of 2005 final. Obviously in very different circumstances, but a bit of nostalgia came in to it. I mean, great game though. It was good to watch. You started off well. You started off very well. Got a goal from an own goal, but came from Trent. Then Salah misses a penalty. And then in the last 5 minutes of the first half, it all goes to complete pot and you can see 2 goals. And Jurgen Klopp's like, how the hell are we going in losing at the break? But what did you make of the first half? What did you boys make of the first half?
I'll go first. Yeah, first half, it was just pure dominance. We already had like 13 shots in like 20 minutes. I was like, it's going to be an easy game. But Milan gave us a challenge. Like, they defended well. I had to give credit to the goalkeeper, the first person since 2017 to save Salah's pen. So for him to do that is brilliant. And then, yeah, they got us on the counter attack. I had to rewatch the goals. Trent for the first one should have been tracking back. You should have been the ball should be lost. You should be sprinting back.
Yeah,
Second, you can look at Matip for that poor attempt to clear the intercept the pass, and you find
yeah,
ourselves 2-1 up. I've never seen anything like it. Pure dominance, and we're already 2-1 down. It's just madness. And then
yeah.
second half, we just absolutely came out. Thank you, Origi, with that beautiful assist. I don't know. We'll speak about that certain Liverpool fan later of what he said,
Yes.
but that assist from Origi, I was like, "Is this Origi or something?" I was like, I had to question myself. And then
Do you know
yes,
what?
Salah scores in, and
If
then
if Origi could play like that, sorry to cut you off there. If Origi could play like that if Origi could bring that onto the pitch every time he played. I mean, he hasn't played. I don't think he's been or I don't think he's been on the pitch or he's or he. Sorry. I don't think he's even been on the pitch the last 4 games, or if he has, he hasn't been on there for a long
No.
time. But the way
I think it was his first
came
start
on,
since January.
yeah, exactly.
something like that, yeah.
He started in a Champions League game, a bit of a mad call from Jurgen Klopp, I think. But then he came on and he played really, really well. Obviously, he got that assist for Salah, but just the way, like the way he connected the chemistry with the team, you just think, where's this Divock Origi gone?
Yeah.
John,
There was
I was on another podcast the other week, and we were talking about Origi and how for his own sake he should really go, which I still believe. But if he was able to bring something like that onto the pitch when regularly, or at least showing that effort, I'd keep him all day. But he
Yeah.
does, and that's the problem.
Mm.
That's why I think
Yeah, there was literally like a start yesterday, something about Origi won the ball the most times from pressing because you saw him
Yeah.
pressing, and pressing. Like the defenders didn't know what to do. I
Yeah.
know he is good, but we need to talk about my captain Jordan Henderson with that banger of a goal, man.
like
Put some
Gerrard.
respect. Gerrard-esque. All I'm saying is Jorginho Højbjerg would tear the ACL trying to shoot that. That's what I'm saying.
The
Yeah.
thing with your captains, and they've always done it, whether it be Gerrard, whether it be, I think Carragher's even worn the armband on a couple of occasions, Henderson, when Liverpool needs someone to wake up and to sort this crap out, your captain turns up. Like the rest of your team can have a howler, but your captain turns up, and Henderson is vital. I didn't think he had that in his locker, to be completely honest with you. Because I mean, this is
That's why he did the hands to the ears. Like, yeah, what? I scored that.
It was a mad one. But Paul, what did you make of the game against Milan? Obviously, I'm presuming you didn't watch a 2005 final. I was 10 at the time, so I watched it, but given the tactical analysis on the game, probably not going to happen. But what did you make of the game last night?
I thought it wasn't. I mean, we as what's his name?
Velv.
As Velv said, we did dominate the game at times, but I don't think it was the most convincing win. It wasn't really a convincing win. I mean, that first goal, we looked in control, but then obviously we missed the penalty. But if we had scored that penalty, that would have been wrapped up by half time. But then Milan scored 2 fairly unavoidable goals. That first goal from Milan, I'm looking back at it this morning, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he doesn't look like he's tracking back. It's like he's relying on Matip to close it down. But then obviously it gets through in behind to the Milan player who just slots it in. But that's where Alexander-Arnold should be. And then obviously to get the second goal, I think that was a counter attack, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, it was just little lapses of concentration here and there that we definitely need to iron out. I don't think it wasn't a game where if we want to win the Champions League, if we want to win the Champions League, we should be grabbing hold of games. I know you could argue that that's the Liverpool way, and it probably is. We're known for like the mental matches, aren't we? But really, we should be obviously with that first goal, we should be grasping the game then. But then we got back, didn't we? We looked fairly in control, but still there was a few little bits here and there that a few little lapses, as I say, lapses of concentration that should have been, that was unavoidable.
Well, Jurgen mentioned that in his press conference, didn't he? It was like they got a bit too confident. Everyone wanted to go forward a bit, and he did allude to it. And I'm sure his halftime team talk changed completely from, look, we're in control of the game, just don't do anything stupid, to guys, you've just conceded 2 goals. Like what?
They look quite sloppy. I mean, I as I say, I can't say, I can't really give a proper example of how good Milan are, because I'll be honest, I don't watch them. I don't watch them enough to be able to. They finished second in City last year, so they're obviously a decent side, aren't they?
Well, they faced United in the Europa League, didn't they? And they gave them a really good go. And look, you can joke all about United. They came second in the Premier League last year. They took United all the way. I think it was a moment of absolute madness from Paul Pogba that won United the game. So this AC Milan side, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they did without their best players. Zlatan and obviously Giroud came on the bench, but he wasn't starting. So to do it with them is impressive.
Yeah. What about you, Gini? What did you make of the Milan match last night?
Well,
hi, Gini.
You're right. that caught me off guard. Hi, Vel. It was a great game, an iconic game with the 2 massive clubs. But to be honest, the first half was like 2 halves in itself, the way we played, because first 20 minutes first 10 minutes was some of the best football I've seen all season. And then we got the goal, possibly a lucky deflection, but it was good build up. Then Salah's penalty, I think, shocked the team in a way, because Vel alluded to it, he hasn't missed since 2017. I think everyone, if you're a player, you think, right, Salah scored 2-0. He then goes and misses, which we've not seen since 3-4 years now. Yeah. I think it shocked the team a bit. It also killed the atmosphere in the stadium. I think we was all in shock that the keeper saved it. And then we dropped off a bit after that. I'd like to address, and it's been doing my head in, because I was listening to Talk Sport on the way back from the game.
Oh, it was about the Trent one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about the Trent. I honestly, we've even mentioned it there. I can't see how people are blaming Trent so much. It's ridiculous. The first goal, you can bring the highlights up, and I wish I could show a picture on the screen. But the first goal never happens if we have Van Dijk. Gomez has a lack of match fitness. He has a lack of match sharpness, and we play a very high line. Gomez hasn't played in a competitive game in over a year now. So Gomez was brilliant, but in that goal, Gomez is the one that plays him on. If he steps up, that's Van Dijk, the goal never happens. So Rebic is offside. So then you don't talk about Trent's positioning because they're playing him off. The second one, Trent's pressing the ball. The initial ball, Trent presses, which is what he's told to do. That's why we're so good.
I don't know why I failed to mention that then, but obviously, like, getting forward and offensively, he did play really well, Trent. Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. I just mean obviously their first goal maybe should have a few yards.
I think he shouldn't have jogged back. I think he should have sprinted back to get back in position.
I mean, attacking wise, you can't complain whatsoever. So,
and that's the thing. Jurgen's built the team sort of around his wing backs. Not Chelsea, Liverpool under Jurgen anyway. You don't play with 10 because you've got your wing backs that are virtually like bloody wingers at this point. I mean, You've got 2 inside forwards with 2 wingers behind them, essentially, Robbo and Trent. So it's always been that midfield. Henderson normally drops wide, a bit wider to cover that gap. I just think because they haven't played with each other for quite a while, I can't remember last time Henderson and Trent got a set of games under their belt together, because Henderson obviously got injured towards the end of last season. Started this season, it's been a lot of rejigging. There's been Elliott coming in, Henderson's been on the bench. They haven't really got that flow about them. So I do feel that flow has sort of been lost. But look, TalkSport, there's a reason why they're always called talk shit or talk shite, because they just talk absolute crap. Which is why I think you're starting to see more YouTube channels, apart from one individual fan, which we'll get to in a bit. Yes, Niall, I'm a Canadian Man U fan, says Wolf. If Elvis One was a footballer, he'd be Fred. Brutal. Wolf says Klopp talks too much shit. I disagree. I actually think Jurgen has... I'm not going to say mellowed, because last year was quite a feisty Jurgen Klopp. I mean, I wouldn't have liked to have been a reporter having to ask him questions at the end of games. He was quite feisty.
Especially with the BT Sport thing, like with playing half-12 after the Champions League. I remember one time, I think, God, when was it? Did we play Everton at half-12 on Saturday?
No, it was Brighton you're thinking of.
Brighton.
And he snapped at the reporter.
It was Brighton, but he was proper. He was proper laying into the reporter, like, and I was just...
It reminded me of Fergie. And I've look, Gini can vouch for me. I've always backed Jurgen Klopp. I think he's a terrific manager. What he did was the most sensible thing in the world. He's trying to put it into the Premier League's head. Stop putting us at half-12. I want to break with the boys. It was complete smart. I've seen Fergie lose his mind more than once having to play half-12. Kicks off half the time. Fergie was famous at it. You saw Ollie doing it as well. When the league is so tight as the Premier League naturally is, it's a naturally tight league. You're always going to get them managers that are like, no, we want that little bit of an edge that we can get. And I think Jurgen saw that and was like, no, I want a bit of a competitive edge on a Sunday game.
And it's brought change, though, in a way. It's brought a little bit of change, because obviously now teams that were playing, I think, is it Tuesday and Wednesday, or is it just Wednesday teams? Just
Wednesday. So if you play Wednesday night, you cannot have the half-12 kickoff anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And does that go for Europa and Europa Conference?
Yeah. Well, Europa League has always been, if you play Europa League, you're on the Sunday anyway, which is why West Ham, Spurs are both on Wednesday night. Leicester, I think, also not Wednesday, Sunday. I think Leicester also there, but they're not televised. But it's mad, but you're right. It brought that change, which I think at the end of the day, that's what Jurgen was sort of wanting.
You need to do the same with the AFCON now. Get that cancelled.
next we're gonna have Jurgen going absolutely mad, going, nope, that should be in the summer. It's a disgrace. wait till he sees.
Has it traditionally been in the winter though?
No, it's traditionally normally sort of January time. The issue is, and this is because of how good football has sort of become all over the world. Naturally, we haven't had a lot of African players in the Premier League, whereas we do now.
Oh my days, Gini, you twat.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Sorry,
Gini, man.
It's all right. It's all right, mate. Gini's just killed Velv.
Nah, Velv, you know what it is? I had enough of listening to you too much. I had to get rocking there as well.
Wow.
But we're ironically, right, we were just talking about the Milan match. We've spoken about drop kicking babies to begin with. Obviously, completely comparable. Yeah, of course. You can just comparing Elliott's injury to Elliott's tackle to drop kicking babies. It's okay. There's another quote we'll discuss after this about Jurgen Klopp and legacy, because completely in the drain now. His legacy is finished. So we'll discuss that in a bit. But give us your thoughts on the Milan match before we get into that.
Look, sorry guys, sorry for my tiredness.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah, the Milan match it was apart 5 to 10 minutes where it obviously got a little bit dicey. We played well. I thought, yeah, we created so many chances, and it did look like it was going to be potentially one of those days when Milan came into half time, obviously winning. But no, I think we very obviously deserved it. The thing is, normally when we go up, we're much more controlling, and we don't go as gung ho, but the atmosphere and the way we played was like attack, and then we kind of paid for it a little bit. But look, I think in general it was a good performance. I would have liked us not to concede 2 goals, but we got 3 points. We move on, no harm done. And on to the next one.
Just means only one English team dropped points on game day 1. Against Young Boys, which is quite surprising. I mean, the rest of the teams, like Zenit are a good Russian team, Milan are a very good Italian team, Leipzig are a good German team. United, though, lose
to the country as per letting us down.
Yeah,
respect Jesse Lingard, man. He did Rashford a favour by
I cannot wait. Now, I get to sit on the United panel. I don't have to host it. I can just sit there, and I cannot wait for tomorrow's show. I am waiting for it, especially after a week before. I kept mentioning about midfielders and how a midfielder would be more important than Ronaldo, and RJ said that I had a fetish for midfielders. I do, RJ. I do have a fetish for midfielders because you need them. You need good midfielders. Ask the rest of the Premier League. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm very excited. I can't wait.
You know what? I could say I love Young Boys, but then I realised how.
Oh my God!
You can start off by going, "Oh yeah, I love Young Boys," but then obviously.
Just say I love I just love Young Boys Football Club. There you go. That solves that problem. Especially considering that it was at the Wankdorf Arena as well. I mean, it's absolutely perfect for United. Beat them, and then you got Ronaldo assaulting ladies in front of Young Boys, which I just think is absolutely ridiculous. Like, Jesus Christ, it just gets from bad to worse for United.
Ladies in front of Young Boys, so
I know. It's absolutely disgraceful, and United, they are so far in the mud. I don't think it's going to take a crane to get them out of this, especially considering Ollie was like, I've learned from Istanbul. you have not. It was the exact same result. But moving on, I want to talk about another, you could say, person who's in the mud and disliked by almost every single Liverpool fan on Twitter. Now, Sonny, as you'll know, alluded to drop kicking babies as comparable to Elliott's tackle. Now, his next one was Jurgen Klopp has damaged his legacy for playing Divock Origi. Gini, I'll just start with you. Jurgen has won a Premier League title for the first time in 30 years. He's won a Champions League. He's transformed you from a club that was sitting in Europa League. If you're lucky, you get Champions League sometimes to you've been in Champions League for the last 3-4 years. He's transformed your club. Is his legacy damaged because he decided to play Divock Origi in a Champions League game?
Look, Sonny's held too much abuse on Twitter, man. I don't want.
This isn't abuse. This is just merely talking about what he said. I'm not asking you to abuse Sonny because that would be rude. Just talk me through that quote. Has Jurgen damaged his legacy?
He's entitled to his opinion. It's far from the truth. But how you can damage your legacy over a player, I don't quite know. And was it before or after the match?
After the match.
All right. Well, if it was after the match, Origi played well.
Gini, to put it into context, before he went on to any of the positives, mind you, you just beat an AC Milan in a Champions League match. The first thing he wanted to do was talk about Divock Origi and it damaging. He said that Jurgen Klopp had slapped him in the face.
Sonny, man. He says what he wants, doesn't he? I don't agree with that at all, but
Yeah.
That's
I hear that. I hear that. Velv, what about you? Has it damaged his legacy?
I don't know. It's just hilarious from Sonny, man. Like, how are you saying he's damaging his legacy? He won us the first Premier League title in bloody 30 years. And to start Origi, and his logic was, oh, because he did the video with Alisson Firmino did the video with Chunks, and he said, oh, describe Divock Origi. Oh, he's a lazy player, so that's why he started. Origi won us a Champions League. He he literally scored 2 goals against Barca. He scored in the final that won us the Champions League. And he was pivotal. He was pivotal in some games in when we won this Premier League race against Everton. He's not disrespecting the club. He doesn't disrespect the club. He comes on and if you give him a start, he will do something. Like, he's not given this opportunity week in, week out. So how are you gonna say, oh, he's lazy? Where there's other players that are clearly better than him, and he just needs to wait for the opportunity, and then when he takes the opportunity, he performs. Like, this nonsense about, oh, he's lazy, or he's finished, he hates the club. He doesn't hate the club. He loves the club. Like, if he hates the club, then he would have been scoring on goals for AC Milan. You know, he just. I get your passion, but come on, man. Like,
I think it's just take the L, isn't it? Just take the L and run with it. He's taken a fair few L's this week, actually, bless the lad. But what about you, Paul? What do you make of the comments?
No.
That's perfect.
I mean, there's no point even like trying to like counter argue with that, because where does it get you?
Yeah.
Go on,
it's
right.
mad. It's mad.
Pass the parcel, mate. Pass the parcel.
Well, actually, can we use this logic? Tuchel has ruined his career at Chelsea for starting Kepa in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, you could use that logic. But what about you, Rak? Sonny, he's taken an L on this, hasn't he? A big one.
Yeah, look, I was actually on the stream with Sonny about I think after he made the comments.
Who is this, by the way? Is this someone who comes onto the channel?
Not this channel.
It was on the terrace. It's on the football terrace. And yeah, I mean, I came on after he did, and I basically just said that it was a load of nonsense and it was absurd. And I mean, how a manager picking a player all of a sudden brings into question his legacy, when his legacy, I mean, I don't know any Liverpool fan who doesn't hold Klopp in the highest regard. And you know, I mean, look, he also played well, but even if he didn't play well, even if he stank the place out and and did nothing, then that it still doesn't damage his Klopp's legacy. And Klopp picked Lazar Markovic. Yeah. Lazar Markovic also didn't want to be there at the time. Lazar Markovic also ended up leaving for free. Lazar Markovic also stunk the place out, and so does anyone think less of Klopp because he picked Lazar Markovic every now and then? No. Yeah. So yeah, it's stupid. And yeah, look, obviously
it doesn't even need an argument, Raf.
Yeah. To be fair, what Paul said, Paul put it most succinctly. More succinctly than I did, because it just a single answer. No.
I mean, any Liverpool fan, any Liverpool fan watching now, or any Liverpool fan, like every Liverpool fan, more like in the world, will not agree with Sonny. I can tell you that now. I am. You know what? I am 100%.
I'm not even a Liverpool fan, and I disagree with him. I mean, it's the most stupidest comment I've ever heard in my life.
Was it on Twitter? Because like.
No, it was basically he said it on as a match reaction. He said it on a fan cam.
Fan cam.
And that actually leads me to advertising what we're doing on Sunday. Instead of doing like loads of match reactions, because CBA with all that crap, we're actually at 10 p.m. on Sunday. We're going to do a fan cams with basically, You get to come on, talk about what you want to talk about, and then sorted. One at a time. You get about 5 minutes. It should be a bit of a laugh. That'll be on Sunday. So make sure you tune in for that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Mustafa says Ollie ruined my life. I understand that. I do. Ollie ruins a lot of your lives, as does Fred. But moving on, Sonny has definitely taken an L, and he'll take the L for quite a while. Now, BT Sport, I watched Champions League tonight last night, and they mentioned something that sort of got me thinking. Now, it is Mo Salah, and I know we've spoken about his contract more times than you care to imagine.
Clear of Hazard, by the way. Clear of Hazard.
Cool. I want to talk about Salah's contract because obviously we've seen contracts given to Van Dijk, Henderson, Nat Phillips, the list goes on. There hasn't still been a contract given to, well, not that I know of. Now, obviously, I'm not, in the know. I don't really know what is going on, apart from Jurgen Klopp's the best manager in the league. So I don't really know what's going on. But Owen said that Mo Salah's contract was the trickiest out of all three. Now, Rio you sort of disagrees because Rio's like, he's the best player. Surely it's sort of give him what he wants and just get it done. Gini, how do you view Salah's contract at the moment? I mean, are you on the same sort of side as Rio, which is just give him what he wants, get it done, or how are you viewing it?
I don't think there's any other words to put it than give him what he wants and get it done, because I think Mo Salah's a player, even bizarrely amongst his like some of the fans in his fan base at times. I think Salah's so underappreciated, and everyone, he's a player that, like maybe Torres was like at Liverpool, you'll appreciate him more when he's gone. The day that he leaves will be the day that puts some respect on his name, which is a sad thing, really. But exactly what he's done and what he continues to do week in, week out this football club is nothing but extraordinary. And
James Milner, to an extent. I mean, James Milner's what, 63 now, and he's still like sometimes running the most in the game. I mean, I really appreciate Milner, even if he doesn't play all the time. But the impact that he has behind the scenes, as well as he's probably you probably imagine him as a mentor for the young players. Obviously, Harvey, Elliott, Curtis Jones. I hopefully once he retires, I don't know when that'll be. Probably won't be for a long time. But I'd love to see him go into like the coaching staff or something like that, or even just stay on as like a Alex Meninga? Yeah, Alex Meninga type person.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, was it Alex Meninga, or was it someone else?
I'm not sure.
No, you remember Alex Meninga, don't you? That gone from Augsburg. We had him for about.
I think so.
What was it him? Who we had in pre-season? He came from the US, didn't he? He came to the US for pre-season a couple of seasons ago.
Wait, which one?
I forgot his name. I don't know whether it was Meninga or not. Someone else was out here.
I'm not 100% sure. But you mentioned something about Milner being a mentor. Gini, do you think Salah has that potential to be a mentor for Harvey Elliott? As you naturally would assume that Harvey Elliott is going to be the successor to Salah on the right-hand side. Do you think that could be a benefit if you get him? Because don't forget, this is his last contract, his last big contract, isn't it? It's the last big one. He's looked at probably Ronaldo coming to a league and gone, oh, what's he on? Do you think that Salah might just be like, I want what he's got? Do you see that as a potential sort of block for Liverpool? Because we know that Liverpool aren't just going to go stupid, are they?
I mean, squad hierarchies are, not squad hierarchy, but wage hierarchy is an important thing at Liverpool. Yeah. I think I read about this in an article recently. Yeah. if he's wanting, like, obviously, if he's wanting too much, like a Messi, a PSG, and a Ronaldo, you've obviously got to weigh up the options and compensate for it. What's he on now? About 200 grand a week, 250 at most, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's 200 grand a week, but that's his basic.
I mean, that's still a lot. Obviously, people like Alexis Sanchez of Man United, who was on 350 grand. He could well offer more, but I mean, he brings so much to the club.
But I wouldn't even pay 500k just to lose to young boys. Just saying.
I mean, it's not like the Liverpool way, whether he wants to follow that tradition, if you like. I don't know whether you can even put this as an argument, but obviously, yeah, it just depends what he wants. But I think just give him what he wants, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there with the highest earners, anyways. It's not really gonna like cause any aggro. I don't think, anyways.
Well, I can't imagine anyone in the Liverpool side going, hold on, why is Salah getting so much money? I don't know, dickhead. Probably because Mo Salah. Like, I could just imagine Mane going, I want that. And Jurgen probably goes and gets some numbers and go, once you do those numbers, come back to me and talk. Like, that's probably what Jurgen does.
Probably, yeah.
What about you, Rak? Salah? Tie him down?
Look, I think no one questions the contribution that Salah's made. I mean, he's been right at the top end of a world-class performing team. He's been right at the top end. Him and Virgil are probably the standout players. But at the same time, I think that, you know, any well-run club, there needs to be a certain structure and there needs to be a way of doing things. And I don't think paying someone just what they want is ever a situation. Then you get, if that's the case, then you won't get them in situations like with Barcelona where they're all of a sudden paying Lionel Messi. Obviously, Messi's a different player. I'm not suggesting, but you get into a situation where you're paying completely absurd amounts of money. Salah's on 200 grand a week in his current contract, but that's his basic. Like, if you look at what the reported basic wages of our squad is, then it comes. I think if you total them up, it comes to about 120, 130 million pounds a year. What you see from the actual accounts is our wage bill is about 310 million pounds a year. So when we're successful, those players get a shitload of money in bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So Salah's probably taking home now, I would say maybe 300 plus grand a week. So, you know, that's a lot of money. There are going to be players out there who earn more. But
it's the modern game, how it's developing, isn't it? But I think 300 grand. I mean, we'd all be happy with 300 grand a week, wouldn't we?
But surely that should be the way football. Surely
Mo Salah's happy with 300 grand a week.
But surely that's the way football should be. You should get a basic salary, which is fine. And as long as Salah is successful, Salah gets more money. I don't see a problem in this.
It's based on team performance and on individual performance. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of it specifically, but I think I want him to stay, and I hope we can get him to sign a contract and to stay. And but you know, it's just for me, just pay him and get him to sign the contract is not really the best way to go about things. So, you know, ultimately they got to try and get the best deal for Liverpool. Salah needs to get the best deal for himself, and hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle. Because what we don't want is if we offer him a 4-year deal at 500 grand a week, and then he falls off a cliff next season. Now, I'm not suggesting that's going to be the case. The club will have looked at all the numbers, look at his performance, look at his physical numbers like sprints and all that kind of stuff, distance, all these kind of like stuff, all those bits we don't have access to, and they'll have an idea of where he is physically. But you don't want to be paying 34-year-old 500 grand a week sitting on the bench.
You saw Aubameyang, didn't you? Aubameyang is just, that's exactly what Arsenal have done, and I think Liverpool they're a smart run club. But Gini, do you think Liverpool and Salah can meet halfway? Do you see this getting done? Because I think it's going to be spoken about until Salah puts that signature on that piece of paper and he's your player for the next 4 or 5 years. So can you meet in the middle?
I bloody hope so, mate. I think I was optimistic of doing it in the summer when we did everyone else's deals. That's important. Obviously, it didn't get done as soon. So I think as Liverpool fans, we're just clutching at straws for this contract announcement now. As the club, I don't get how you can't think, given what he wants, he's the most productive player for the club. He's probably been the most important player for the club in the last 4 years. So he deserves to be the highest pay. Obviously, I get it's how much his agents wanting him to be on, which can it can be ridiculous with agents now. It's crazy money, but we didn't buy anyone in the summer, so we should have the money there to pay him weekly. And renew it. I know it's everyone hates it saying, but renewing Salah, it's like there's no more Salahs that come once every year. It's every blue moon you're going to get a player that scores week in, week out, performs to his level. We probably won't see a player like that in 10 years. So.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I mean, you announced Henderson on deadline day, so I'm guessing the way Liverpool operate, January window, deadline day, Salah signs a new deal. You won't sign anyone, of course, in January. That would be ridiculous. Liverpool don't tend to do business in January anyway, but deadline day, Liverpool chuck out a new contract. Is there anyone else that needs a contract renewal? Because you'll probably do two at one time. You did Henderson with Phillips. I'm guessing like Salah with Rhys Williams or something.
I think probably
Milner. Yeah, that. Nah, I think this might be Milner's last season.
I think this will be Milner's last season.
Yeah, give Milner a backroom staff contract.
He'll be better. Well, I don't think he will. I think he'll go. I think what he'll do is I think he'll go off to like a Brighton or sort of near the end. Maybe even Leeds United, because obviously he was a player at Leeds as a kid. But he'll definitely be back at some point as a coaching role or club ambassador for Liverpool. Because
I think he's come out and said that as well. I think he's come out and said that he wants to work in the backroom stuff one day.
Yeah, or he might just view it as, look, I've had a great career. What's the point? I might as well end it on a high. Hopefully Liverpool win something this season that Milner can be a part of. And then he just thinks, I'll end it on a high and I'll go join Jurgen's backroom staff now. Maybe like with Stevie G, didn't he take the under-21s or something? So maybe Milner might do the same, go work with some of the youth at the academy or something like that and progress the next set of stars. If there's anyone who understands Jurgen Klopp's demands, and Jurgen might not be there by the time these players come through, but to instill that work rate, the standards, there's going to be no one better than James Milner to implement those standards, surely.
I think give it to Sonny, to be honest.
What?
Go on, Rob.
I think give it to Sonny, man. Like he has a clear understanding. He knows about ruining manager's legacy. So like you sir, don't be lazy, or you're gonna ruin this manager's new legacy. That's how you go.
Oh, Velvishwan, Velvishwan has absolutely done Sonny dirty there. But realistically, he won't be on this channel, that's for sure. He doesn't come on here anymore. Used to. No, Milner, do you think he might go back into the coaching staff next season then? Or do you see him ending it at a different club? How old is he now? Like 38?
Yeah, I think he's about 36, 37. Yeah. But I think he could well go to Leeds. I think it's hard to say now, but I mean, he's got the legs to be able to go to Leeds for a season or two, or even
do you reckon he looks at Ronaldo going, "No, I'm fitter than you, boy. Right, I'll keep going till he's gone." You just see Milner looks at Teddy Sheringham going, "I could work until I'm 41 years old. Go for it." He apparently
probably could.
He probably wins, doesn't he? He outdoes everyone on the beat test.
Yeah, he outdoes everyone. He actually shouts at places like, "Why are you not running?" He's like,
I mean, I think the best bit of James Milner was lockdown when he did all of those like videos of they were the times, they were the good times. A little bit of joy during the miserable times. But last season you went to Selhurst Park, and I don't really need to remind you how this game went when you went to Selhurst Park, because you absolutely destroyed them to different levels, to the fact that I even think Minamino scored, if I remember correctly.
Two, I think. Did he get two?
Yeah, he might have got a brace, actually.
He got one goal, and then Salah got two. Firmino got two. Yeah, and Mane got one.
When Minamino's scoring goals, you know that you're having a great game.
He put some respect on his name. Breakout season.
But this one is going to be a very different Crystal Palace. Now, this isn't at Selhurst Park. This is at Anfield. But this Palace side, managed by Patrick Vieira. Now, there are a lot of doubts or debates on if Vieira is going to be good enough. But I think right now, you look at that Palace team and you're like, they can hurt us a bit more than maybe they could under Roy. Look, two different situations, isn't it? Roy Hodgson there to keep a team up. Patrick Vieira maybe there to express the team a bit more. You look at Edouard getting a brace on his debut. He's probably starting against you on Saturday. I don't need to mention how good Zaha is. This Palace side, do you fear they can do a bit of damage if you're not respectful?
They're definitely someone who can. Definitely someone. If we don't keep them in line, they can definitely punish us. I mean, if we perform the same as yesterday, as in times yesterday, then they definitely could punish us. But I mean, Crystal Palace at Anfield, it should be comfortable. It should be.
Yeah.
I'm saying it will.
I've said that before. I've said that before when York came to home park, and I was like, this should be comfortable. Ended up losing 4-0.
It's Palace, isn't it? It's Palace. Palace could be playing Barcelona and we'd end up beating them 4-0. So
bit like United. It's only young boys. Young boys end up with a 2-1 win.
Yeah. The crazy thing is that after that 7-0 game, I was working that day, and I turned to my mate and I just said, we were top of the league. I turned to him. I was convinced, even though Virgil was out, it looked like we were going to win the league. And I turned to him and I said, "It's just being this good, is just so amazing." Because I thought before the game, I know.
You doomed us all.
I'm to blame, I guess. But yeah, it was at the time it looked like we were gonna walk the league. We were like maybe 10 points ahead of City and like ahead of everybody, and we were playing so well. I thought we went to Selhurst Park, and I thought that Palace might be a difficult team to play against, and we totally wiped the floor with them 7-0. I was like, this is incredible, and then it all from that was the point.
It was sad to drop off, but I thought City did really well to come from. Where were they at Christmas? I mean, December. Yeah. They were flirting with mid-table definitely, but the way they clawed back up, obviously,
give them credit.
In the Champions and style. I think we done it in like the 70s or the 80s, where we were about 12 for Christmas and then came back up, ended up winning the league. But yeah, fair play to City that season. But it was looking good. And do you know what, Rack? You had all the justification to say that to your mate at that time, but it just didn't. I don't know. It just went. It's like when you've got a charge. You know when you've got one of those like chargers where you plug it in and there's loads of them. It's when you put loads of them and it ends up going on fire. That's the thing. You had loads. You charged everything.
You're speaking from personal experience, Paul.
Then it goes on fire and you're like, oh no, everything's gone bust now. That was the 2021 season. Like.
You say that whilst I've got 4 plugged into an extension lead. I'm just waiting.
We're at Plymouth in the league now. Just make sure.
We are, I think, 8th. We're just outside the playoffs.
You get relegated.
But I'm not talking about walking the league and any of that crap, because Jesus, we just beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. But this is Plymouth Argyle, and knowing us, we're probably going on a losing one soon. We got piped 6-0 by Charlton once, which was fun.
From what you were telling me, Ryan Lowe, obviously Scouser, he plays from what you've been telling me, he plays similar to Liverpool.
Yeah, different formations, similar type of tactics though. Loves wing backs.
For a decent team, I think.
Yeah,
we promoted last season.
Season before that. The first season he came down to us, got us promotion, which is almost enough to get you a statue down at Home Park nowadays. But to be fair, now he's been a blessing. But that's what I mean. Jurgen's tactics is the one I understand the most, because I'm like, I get this purely for the basis of my manager plays it. So I know the tactics quite well. But Gini, Palace at Anfield, you'll be there. No doubt booing Klopp because he's ruined his legacy. What do you make of this Palace game? Potential banana skin? You're going to have to treat him with a bit of respect, aren't you?
No, yeah, it's a banana skin game. Palace is always... well, except from when Minamino seems to play, it's always a tough game, and they're on the absolute world of confidence after stuffing Tottenham 3-0. They've got a striker that's new to come in. He's got to prove himself. He's scored a brace after playing about 20 minutes, so he's full of confidence. Zaha played amazing. I'm sure he'll be full of confidence. So it's going to be a tough game. Should we win it? Yes. Obviously. We have the Anfield crowd as well, which always makes me much more confident in travelling. So, yeah, it'll be a good game. I think, but with Vieira, he likes to come out. He's not like a Roy Hodgson. Like you said, he's trying to express Palace this season. Like a 2-2 at West Ham, scoring 3 against Tottenham. So it could be a high-scoring game. I wonder how much he'll rotate. I hope not too much, having Norwich in the cup in midweek. It'll be interesting to see if he brings Canate in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As Paul said, we should win, but I'm not going to say we will.
I mean, I was fairly not worried, but I was concerned of Leeds away like last week. I mean, it's Leeds and it's away, and Bielsa at the helm, and Leeds are a good side. He's shown that last season, but we went and smashed them 3-0. Obviously, it should have been more. Should have been like 4, 5, 6. But I mean, we went out there and didn't even concede.
I think it's because Leeds play into your hands a bit, don't they? I mean, they do tend to, if you've got pace, which you have. You've got enough to hurt anyone, really. But Velvishwan, Palace at home, tough game.
No, we all battered them 3-0. I don't fear this Palace team. Like, the only person I fear is probably Gallagher, but apart from that,
so you don't fear Osman Edouard, who scored a brace in his first game.
I've never rated Edouard. I feel like he's a fraud. As a
have you, player. Have you ever watched football?
I've watched him. I think that Alfredo Morelos is better than him. Like in European competition, he does fuck all for Celtic.
Well, of course you're going to think that, because Stevie G's a bloody Liverpool legend. You're hardly going to back the Celtic lad, are you?
No, but I don't think he's that it. Edward. I mean, he might shut me up if he scores.
Watch him score a hat-trick at Anfield just to really shut you up.
No, he's not going to. If he does, I'll wear an Everton shirt.
Oh my God, it's 2-0.
Yeah,
2-0 to Leicester. Daka.
Play we should have bought, possibly.
Yeah, Daka with a goal there. It'll explain the views as Europa League auction on this week. We'll just wait for all the English teams to get knocked out, and it'll be business back to normal. But to be fair, they'll probably end up watching this over the weekend. They fucking better do. Okay, it's been a good chat. We'll get score predictions before we wrap up, though. Gini, Liverpool Palace, what are you going for?
I hate predictions.
You do.
I'll say it quietly, 3-0.
Jesus
Say
Christ.
it with chest.
What about you, Paul? What's your score prediction?
4-1 or 4-2.
Crikey, it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's a shame it's a 3 p.m. kickoff.
It was Milan. I wasn't exactly expecting a high-scoring game against Milan, but it was a 5-goal game. So
yeah, but we didn't have Virgil there though, so
yeah, true. I mean, 4-1 then.
Yeah,
could possibly be. Yeah.
I hear that. What about you, Rack? 7-0?
No, I'll go with something a little bit more sensible. But if 7-0 happens, then obviously I'll celebrate. But I'll say 3-0. I want another clean sheet.
It's offside.
I didn't like the fact that we conceded 2 goals to Milan.
No, it's been given.
Play, so yeah, 3-0 clean sheet. Virgil to get a set piece goal.
If Origi comes on and scores on Saturday, Sonny's going to be livid.
That is a good point. I'm waiting for Saturday because we'll get episode 3 of the Sonny Diaries. I wonder what is going to get said this week. He'll get spoken about on the Late Late Show. We absolutely rinsed him. We went through some of the. We went through. We went through some of the quoted tweets in the comments, and they just cracked me up. Obviously, the abusive ones. I mean, yeah, they're out of order, but some of them were comical. They certainly, a lot of them obviously mentioning the Scouse accent. Which was an interesting one. But what about you, Velv? Prediction?
3-0. I don't even 3-0. We're gonna batter them. Even if we have Carriers in goal, we're still better than 3-0. That's how confident I am.
Jesus Christ.
And I watch this. Nico Williams brace. He's going to brace. Watch.
Got the player that's injured.
Who?
Nico Williams.
Then fuck it. Billy Cometio will score brace. Why not?
Why are you not starting Trent?
Origi to score a hat-trick.
No, we could play Nick. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Origi hat-trick. Actually, I actually want Origi to score now, just to see Sonny's reaction.
Yeah, it'll be brutal. I don't think Sonny's got room for another L in his cabinet.
No, here's a bit. Origi should score, take off his shirt, knee slide to the camera, like, Sonny, where you at?
I don't even think Origi knows who Sonny is, let alone what's he said. Nor do I think Origi gives a damn. As mad as that sounds. But we are going to wrap it up there. I've enjoyed myself. That was a decent one. We'll be back next Thursday. No European football next week, so that'll be all good. We're back tomorrow with the Chelsea show and the United show at 6 and 10 p.m. And then some watch-alongs this weekend as well. We're also doing Juventus versus Milan at 7:30 on Sunday. A bit of Serie A. We haven't done enough. Well, we've never done a foreign league watch-along, so this will be our very first, and hopefully you picked a good one. But before you go, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. Check out our socials on Twitter, Let's Talk EPL, Instagram, Let's Talk EPL_, and on TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. Gini, where can they find you, bro?
Just on Twitter.
At Genie in a bottle.
Yeah. Harvey Barnes! Harvey, Niall, go and get your boy.
Go get my boy. Why? What's happened to Harvey?
He scored a great goal, to be fair. He's a player I'd love to see at Liverpool.
Love to see it. Well, I'm going to do a Liverpool career mode and sign him. What about you, Paul? Where can they find you, mate?
Yeah, it's there, Paul Wright LFC on Twitter. I've got normally just like tweeting about my articles or whatever. I'm not a mass I'm not always every 5 minutes on Twitter, but I mean I'm always every article I do, it's always tweets on there. So and then in my bio it's got me the obviously the contact of the regular and all that. And yeah. So definitely if anybody gonna have a look, stay tuned.
100%. You'll hopefully see Paul on here a lot more because been very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. We're always looking for Scousers with a Scouse accent as well. Helps with the authenticity of the podcast. We used to have one, but I don't know where he ended up. But Rack, where can they find you, mate?
On Twitter at Raxing1. Do a Liverpool show on the First 11 channel with Steve and a couple of the other guys on Mondays. Here, obviously, on Thursdays when I'm not late. And on the terrace, you usually catch me doing like post-match reactions and other bits and pieces during the week. And on Twitter Space every now and then, just chatting nonsense about football and other stuff. So, yeah.
Just chilling on the Twitter Spaces. I've listened to a couple of them. Sonny needs to do a space. That would be insane. You need to do one. I'll definitely listen
Harvey
to that.
Barnes.
Talking of Harvey Barnes, Velv, where can they find you and Johnny apparently, who is Carol?
Twitter, Instagram at Vel_skills.
Perfect. We'll be, you've actually made Johnny into Karen, which is, if I put you on the big screen, I cannot believe you've done that. Unbelievable. Does Johnny know you've done that?
He actually ran away when I done it.
Jesus Christ. But we'll be back tomorrow. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. Harvey Barnes just scored there. Good goal. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace out.